You know, it's only fitting that we play in Slender Forest while I talk about this. So, if you've been on my channel for long enough, then you'll know two things. A, I like horror games. But notably, B, I fucking hate survival horror games. Now, real quick, just to clarify what I mean by survival horror. By survival horror, I mean any horror game where you're typically running from some sort of person or entity, and the goal is to survive or escape without getting killed. I'd argue this is the most popular type of horror game. You know, you got your Slender, the 8 Pages, you got your Five Nights at Freddy's. Those are two, like, popular examples, but a lot of horror games fall under that category. And I, notably, avoid survival horror games. And I also notably get really frustrated if a game lies about being a survival horror game by, like, not tagging properly. There are exceptions, like, I do enjoy FNAF 1 specifically a lot, and I've played some games that will have survival horror elements without being full-blown survival horror that I quite enjoyed, like the ending of Kiosk, or the ending of Egg Fried Rice, or I guess one of the endings of Egg Fried Rice. I've played through Slender the Arrival. Like, I'm not 100% opposed to it, there are exceptions. But in general, when given the choice between a survival horror game or just like a horror game where you're wandering around and spooky shit happens, I'm gonna pick a horror game where you're wandering around and spooky shit happens. But I was realizing I never really clarified why. Like, I'll joke about it, I'll be like, oh, I'm a pussy, I don't want to play survival horror, but I've never actually gone into, like, why I avoid it. Because, yeah, I am scared, but also, like, I get more scared by, like, jump scare horror and, like, any sort of horror game. Like, I'm just an easily scared person, specifically with video games. Interestingly, not really in any other form of media. I think it's just because video games are interactive, so they freak me out more, because it feels like, oh, I'm in it. But yeah, there's a couple reasons why I don't like survival horror. The first of which, I'm bad at video games. And survival horror games in particular have a tendency to be pretty hard. A popular example of like a really hard one is Baldi's Basics. Like, that game is ridiculously difficult. And a lot of survival horror games are ridiculously difficult. And I'm bad at video games, so, like, it's not a good combination. Also, one of the things that freaks me out more than anything else is the feeling of being chased or being followed, or stuff like running at me. And that's kind of like the entirety of survival horror, is stuff coming after you, so it's just, like, stressful. So yeah, I'm bad at it, it's stressful. Those are the two main reasons. And me getting frustrated by constantly dying also adds to the stress, and it makes me feel, like, bad, like, physically not good when I play them. I have really bad anxiety, and I also have, like, emotional dysregulation issues because of my autism. So me plus survival horror is a bad time, generally. And as entertaining as it is to watch a YouTuber freak out, oh, one-shot kill. I make a whole video essay about how much I fucking hate the one-shot killing issue in this game. As entertaining as it is to watch people play survival horror games and, like, freak out, I don't feel like causing myself to feel like shit for content. Like, that's not the vibe I'm going for. I would much rather play a game that I know I'll enjoy than a game that's just gonna make me feel like shit for no reason. Yeah, that's really just the main reason, is it stresses me out and I'm bad at them. This guy's asleep. Oh my god, this one guy with his one-shot weapon. But like I said, I'm not completely opposed to playing survival horror. I do want to revisit the FNAF series, and you know, if a game is good enough and isn't too heavy on the survival horror, then I'll endure it, but you have to tag it properly. If you put survival horror in your horror game, you have to tag it with survival horror. Even if it's just like a little segment, if there is any notable portion of the game that is survival horror, you have to tag it with survival horror, because not everybody wants to play survival horror. I think people have this idea in their heads of like, oh, if you're looking for a horror game, you're already looking for a survival horror game, so I don't have to tag it. You do have to tag it. There are plenty of games that are horror games and do not have survival horror. One-shot weapons are... Oh my god! One-shot weapons are a cop-out. I like calling out when people are using bad weapon choices, cause what the fuck? Oh, shocking, he had the most kills in the game. Who is fucking surprised? I'll link that video essay in the description. I know it's not, like, directly related to the topic, but I just, ugh. Yeah, survival horror, not my thing. And because of this also, if anybody suggests, like, a horror game, if you suggest, like, a horror game or, like, a Minecraft horror map or something, I would prefer it not be survival survival horror, or if it is survival horror, please like warn me ahead of time. I don't like surprises when I'm playing games. So if you've wondered why I am very vocal about avoiding survival horror, that's why. I love me some horror games, and I'm glad that there's so many, especially now, that aren't survival horror. I feel like for the longest time people are like, oh, if it's a horror game, it has to be survival horror, because like most of them are. But more recently, especially with the rise of like PSX horror, there's been a lot of different genres of horror games, which I appreciate. But yeah, that's all I had to say, really. Anyways, if you liked this video, then please like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the stuff they tell you to do in YouTube videos. And I will see you whenever I see you again. Bye bye!